Okay, I assume that's live. It says it's live. I think we're okay. Hopefully that's playing there. Hello there. Sorry, Mathis. The Live to Tell riff. Ooh. I'll need to look up again. Must be that. No. Yeah, you get the idea. Hi, Dom's the Panda. Well, that's the first stream. Well, I've not done many. So you're forgiven for not catching many before. Hi there, Mr. Krishna, Rezi. Rezi's good to have the gang. Scania. I'm very good. Hope all is well with everyone. Yeah, it was close. Yeah, it's there's a great video where Patrick Leonard's going over it, and talks about having that theme. Very thematic, isn't it? Hello, Nikita. We'll get to the tips. I'll maybe give it I don't know, a few minutes, and then I'll start with the presentation, with the lecture. It will be a lecture, so you're advised to take notes. There will be a recorded video. I'm just joking. Hi Kev, all's good here. Hope's well with yourself. But yeah, you can take notes, and hello, just Lazio. I will be going over some of the rig, because that's a question. I've got some questions at the end to answer as well. But yes. Just making sure I can see everything okay. I'm using a different software. Before, when I was doing these things, I had it on my phone. So I was just streaming from the phone, like down in the corner, and then I had it up on the computer in front of me so I could see everything. But now I'm using OBS, which I think is what all the cool kids use to do their streams and all that gaming stuff. Which is handy, because I think it means I can get a better sound with the guitar. I remember on the last stream I did for the 40k one, when I was supposed to be doing like a live Leopardize thing, and I don't think the guitar kind of came through as well. It wasn't. Yeah, it's almost as if it was something to do with the connection, or the software wasn't the best. But hopefully we'll sort that out now. I assume you can hear my voice okay. I can hear the guitar fine. I'm not sure how much I'll be using it. Cool, seems okay. Yes, thanks, okay. Yeah, so what I'll do is, I'll maybe get started with it. Anyone else who joins in, like I say, I might, well, you'll be able to view this afterwards and that, but I might, I'll put up the notes I have. Tiny more guitar volume, I'll see if I can turn that up. I'll see what I can do in terms of like making notes for the tips. They're just bullet points essentially, and I'm going to be talking about them. I'll see if I can expand on them when I make notes or something. But essentially, I reached that 50,000 subscribers milestone, which I never thought I'd get there. So thank you all to that. For that. I feel it's a little bit odd because I got very fortunate with a couple of videos getting a lot of views in either 2021 or 2022. Like my Skid Row, I Remember You got a lot of views, and then Danger Zone, which I did a year before the new Top Gun movie came out, but that kind of got caught in the algorithm or something like that. So I feel like I gained a lot of subs from those two videos, and I don't know if they're properly representations of what I do on the channel. So if you're a big Skid Row fan, I don't think I've done any since. And I like Kenny Loggins, I like the Top Gun soundtrack, but I don't think I've done any more of those since. Or did I do the anthem? But basically, I got a lot of views from them, which was pretty lucky. I don't think it kind of reflects what this channel does. So 50k was certainly not expected, but I'm very, I feel very privileged to get there. So thank you. Yes, Lazio, I just do it for fun. And a lot of the time that means that I'm doing my own, like what I like to play. It was very tempting to kind of try and do all the popular songs and keep it going with to get in the algorithm, but I couldn't really do that. But I appreciate that there's a lot of people out there that share my tastes. So thank you for that. Could you show us? Yes, Mr. Gomez, I will go through all that. Right, I'm gonna get the old PowerPoint here. There we go. So 50 tips here to help you play guitar. 50 tips that I think have helped me play. I hope they will help you. And some of them are, you can maybe put them together. There might be tips here that are like, oh, that sounds like that tip. Well, I've actually got more than 50 just to cover that aspect. But here's 50 general tips that if someone's asking me, how do you do this, how do you do that, or what helped me do this, or whatever, here's what's helped me, because I was a struggling guitarist for a long time, and there's still stuff now I struggle with. We'll all go through that, so don't worry about it. Join the club. Let's see, hopefully I can go through. Nice one, Doms. Make sure you got a couple of pens ready. If anyone needs to go to the bathroom, just go up and leave. You don't have to raise your hand. It will save any more distractions. Okay. Right, so I've kind of broken these into different categories. If I press this button, will it go to the next one? It does, and it didn't stop the stream class. So these first 10, they're not all in groups of 10, just lucky with this first one. All about technique, essentially, and these are ones that I think technique-wise have helped me. Now, one of the biggest ones I always talk about, because I get asked about the fill stuff quite a lot, and we'll get onto that a little bit more. But one of the big things with me is to hold the pick very lightly. When I was first starting, I used to really grip the pick and think, I don't want to drop it. And I remember reading somewhere about in one of the guitar magazines or something, a guitarist said, I basically hold the pick so it's just about to fall, but it doesn't. And then he said, you should get used to the fact that you're always changing how you hold the pick. And that was really mind-blowing to me, because I'm like, how does that even happen, So holding the pick lightly for me really helps. And I'm using like a metal pick as well, like what Phil does. And I feel that holding the pick lightly almost makes the pick glide over the strings, like especially if you're doing like some of the kind of fast stuff. That seems quite fast. Really, it's just little kind of movements there, and the pick is just about to drop essentially. So hold the pick lightly. If you're struggling, and I know Phil says he really grips it, he really shreds his strings, but that never worked for me. And I felt as though that tip got me over that big hurdle of kind of playing the fast stuff. Okay, so that's a big one there. I'm trying to have a look at the questions as they go through. I see there's a couple of tips there. I don't play a lot of acoustic. Do I use picks that have bumps on it to increase grips? I mainly just use flat ones. I've got a few different picks I'll try and play, but I mainly come back to the flat metal one. So tip number 2, fret close to the metal. I'm always surprised that this is never really talked about a lot, and most of the time you just come across this yourself, but when you're playing the guitar and you're fretting like down here, like I'll maybe come out of this, like down in the boxes of where the frets are, you ideally want to be like, if I'm playing the 3rd fret, which is this first dot here, your finger should be as close to the metal bar above it as possible. That's how you get the most the most clearest true tone. And it might be hard to hear on this, but if you fret down the way, you're more likely to get buzz. If you fret closer to the bar, it's a bit of a clearer tone. So always aim to kind of be just around the bar. And I always think that it helps because if you're to play harmonics, that's where they ring a bit truer as well when you're on the bar, not in the middle of the fret. See, I'm on the 7th there, bring it closer to the metal bar, better ring of it. That's a massive one for me, like, because you think, oh, why does it sound so bad? Oh, does my guitar need setup? No, you just need to fret it properly, you know. That was a big one for me. Number 3, incorporate the pinky more. I've sometimes seen people say, oh, is that a bad thing that you're using your pinky for chords? I never thought about it like that. I started using it because, again, I saw Phil use it, and I think Steve used to use his pinky, maybe because he had his guitar really far down low. But when I started using my pinky more for chords, like power chords like that, again, I'll bring it up. You know, I power chord like that essentially. If I'm moving my 2 fingers out of the way, I just feel that works for me. Also, I fractured the bone in this finger, my ring finger, so I can't quite get a nice bend on that like I used to. You see people play like this and that works fine. I kind of had to start doing that. And when I started using my pinky more for the chords, I felt I was able to use it more for everything else. And even on little chords, like some of the Def Leppard chords, those little 2-note chords, like in Animal or Stand Up Kick Love, use your pinky more. Just see how well that builds the strength, and then you find it, you can start using it for other stuff where you actually need it. I mean, a lot of the time you won't need it, only if you're doing maybe the fast scale runs it helps. But I think now playing with my pinky helps keep things comfortable in terms of gripping for chords for me. So that's a tip there. Your pinky's always going to be a weak point, but if you can kind of get in there early and start using it, then it should be a bit better. It should be. Number 4, left and right hand muting is critical. That's another thing in terms of what I think separates when you're at that, maybe the beginner to intermediate stage or the intermediate to slightly above that, is just how well you're able to mute everything. A lot of guitar playing is about limiting the notes you don't want to play rather than playing what you do. And you have to be using both hands for this. And again, I only found, I don't think I ever consciously worked on it. It might just come in experience as you play, but using, like on the left hand, if I'm only playing, let's put on a distortion and take the delay off so it's a bit clearer. If I'm only hitting one note here, let's say I'm hitting that 5th fret of the D string, you should be able to hit all the strings there and only have that ring out. Like someone like John Frusciante in the Chili Peppers, he's playing all the strings, but he's only having that one note ring out, and he gets a cool sound from it. Maybe a Jimi Hendrix thing, I'm not sure. So the idea there is I'm using a lot of the flesh in my hand to cover the strings I'm not playing, either the tip of my fretting finger to cover the strings above it or below it in pitch, bringing my thumb over to cover that low E string, and what's underneath my finger, like this part of my finger when I'm fretting, is muting everything above that. And then with the right hand, I think Jay Graydon said this one, he always rests his finger under the high E string. That's the only one I remember consciously thinking, I'm going to start doing that more. Why? Because Jay Graydon does it, and he's a good man to look up to. But again, it's more about your palm rest on the low strings, and if you can, bring your pinky in if you're not playing anything higher up. I think Vivian Campbell maybe does a bit of that. If he's doing a lot of legato stuff, he'll try and mute the strings like that as well. So I think that's a huge part of making you sound better and cleaner. I think that's where it should be. So just seeing. Just Lazio. That's a good question. Is this so covering with the flesh rule? Does this also apply when you have to do big stretches, or do you just palm it instead? For example, it really depends on what you're doing. Yeah, like sometimes you have to, if you're doing like a big stretch or something. Yeah, you have to lean with your palm a bit more. But something I only really thought about recently, and I saw a video from Troy. I forget his second name, but he does like cracking the musician's code or something like that. Laszlo, sorry, it looks like an I. He, like when you're playing through a high gain amp, it naturally compresses in a way where it doesn't compress then, surely, because it doesn't raise the noise floor. But essentially what you're playing is the loudest, and then the noise from not muting is underneath. So you could play your open strings and then start playing the string you want to play, and that is what's sounding the loudest. So you don't have to worry about doing all the muting. In fact, because Eddie does that weird picking technique, and that's how he said he got around that aspect. So that I think that's a big one. Number 5, fret with just enough strength and no more. There's another tip I'm going to go on to about tension, but this is a big one that, like with a lot of guitar playing, you want to be as economical as possible, and that means you want to do the minimum amount of movements and the minimum amount of strength, so that you're not tiring yourself out. And with fretting, you maybe can't hear it as well. But if I was to fret it down really hard, you hear it's going a little bit sharp there. So just fret enough that you're on there and it's ringing out. Yeah, don't fret too much. When you see people and they're really digging into the neck and that, you're not going to be able to fret really hard here, right? I'm going to do a hammer on and pull off. Well, all my strength is fretting there, so now I'm too tense and I can't play. So try and relax a bit, and that comes on to the next one. There we go. Relax and rid yourself of excess tension. Now, this is something I've only consciously thought about in the last maybe 2 or 3 years. But usually you play at your best when you're nice and relaxed and you're not thinking about it. If you're really kind of tense and focusing on everything, you're not going to play to the best of your ability. And you have to try and pinpoint where you are getting tense. Sometimes if I'm playing, it's kind of all down here, and just have to kind of get used to thinking, all right, I'm tense, how do I loosen that? All right, bring my arms down, my shoulders relaxed. Are you holding your breath when you play? That's another bad thing I do. I'm like, here's the fast part. Oh, hold my breath. No, now I'm too tense. That doesn't help at all. So try and relax, and that helps, keeps things flowing, and you can play faster when you're relaxed, essentially. Number 7, learn to roll the volume. So essentially, you see Vivian do it a lot, actually, when he's doing thank you, Jensen. Even when he's doing the little riffs on like Sugar, where is it? I'll come back a bit so you can see. He's like, then he like rolls it off straight away and comes back in a nice full swoop. So if you're playing a very, very loud guitar and you're next to your amps and that, you're gonna get a lot of buzz and noise. So he kind of gets good at rolling off the volume. And on my Jackson, I moved the tone. I removed the tone pot. I moved the volume down because my pot used to crackle and cut out when I touched it. So I'm like, I'm just gonna get rid of it, move it down. But really, I wouldn't mind if it was back there because I've gotten so used to rolling the volume. And again, it just adds to the aspect of playing clean. Maybe it doesn't matter too much if you're playing at home, but I think it's a good thing, good bit of practice to get into, and it's maybe a bit of a mark of a more sophisticated player. But certainly if you're playing live, like in between songs, they get a lot of feedback. Just always roll the volume. The sound guys will appreciate that. So that's another one that I think is an important technique, and it's all about kind of using your pinky. Let me go back on this cam to kind of get down there. You may now understand why certain volume placements are like right here. Maybe the Strat is still a bit too close for that, but that's always quite handy, and I miss that now in the Jackson because I've got it down here, you know. So I think that's a good one. Number 8, change the angle of pick when needed. Again, that goes back to the idea of not holding your pick in a rigid way all the time. Because sometimes if you're doing like scale runs or something and you're kind of going up, you might want to angle it in a way that your pick's not getting stuck in the strings. I think Eric Johnson was kind of big on that. He'd be doing like two notes per string. So he'd angle it in a way that his upstroke was coming away from the guitar. That way he wasn't getting stuck. But anything, always have your pick loose and moving it around, because you need to change it to do pinch harmonics, and you need to change it like for kind of fast licks. Yeah, like I say, I hold it a bit lightly. I don't show a lot of pick anyway, but less so on big lead lines like that. And then if I'm playing chords, I tend to show more of the pick, so I'm not always whacking my finger off it and then cut myself and bleeding. Excuse me. 9, yeah, fast playing is more about economy. Again, going back to being relaxed. Yeah, when you see kind of a lot of fast licks, it's about minimizing how much work you're doing, so that you can do the fast licks. And yeah, if you're doing too much work, and that like I say, that comes down to doing too much of the excess tension. If you're focusing too much on, I'm fretting that really hard, like this fast lick, I'm having to do this, and then I need to move up here and then come back down here. It doesn't work that well. You need to try and find something that works for you, where you're doing the least amount of movement as possible. And a lot of the time, yeah, it's more about economy. It kind of tricks the mind. Like I remember, like on the Final Countdown solo. Now I'm not sure exactly how John Norm used to do it. But it's essentially, I thought it was faster than what it was, and then I remember slowing it down and really trying to listen out to what he's doing, and it's, right, that's it. That's a more simple than what it sounds like. And then when you play it simple, but you play it properly in time and smoothly, it sounds faster than what it is. You know, it's not any of that. It's more fluid, like economy style picking. So I feel that's quite a big one. If you want to go for that shreddy stuff, you need to learn how to minimize movements. And another thing I got told from Richard Watson, he's an incredible guitarist and YouTuber and Instagram, doing all the session solos, you know, Dan Huff, Michael Landau, really, really nice guy, very, very lucky to have a couple lessons off of him, a handful even. He introduced me the idea of, you know, when you're not fretting or when you're not playing a note, you know, don't bring your fingers off the fretboard too much, because even that's a waste of movement. Try and keep them in. And because I was struggling, anything with the pinky, I was kind of coming away too far. So I just try and think about limiting that, and then, you know, you can get a bit quicker with it. Laszlo, yeah, maybe drinking before performances is why a lot of the guys like to relax. Who knows? Maybe it was a bit detrimental in the end for some people. And number 10 there on the techniques, octave shapes simplify scale runs. Like I remember seeing people who did scale runs like from down here all the way up the neck, and they think, wow, how do they do that? What are they doing there? And a lot of the time it comes down to just you're playing one shape over an octave you move up 2 frets, you're playing the same shape again because it's the octave like. You know, that's basically, there's your 6 notes there, slide for the 7th, and then you're back to playing those 6 notes. And then again. So it's the same shape. It gets a bit awkward because you get to the B string where you have to, you're not quite going up the same frets, but you know, something like that. And that kind of makes things look a little bit better, especially if you're trying to learn something by ear and it's a big run. Getting the right shape to start with and thinking, oh, how's he going for the next bit? Is he continuing up here then changing it? No, most likely if it's pretty much a scale run, it'll be the same shape. Move up 2 frets, do the shape again, move up 2 frets, do the shape again. That's how a lot of them kind of tend to be. So that was a bit eye-opening for me. And again, that wasn't that long ago. I kind of stumbled on that, or I don't know if I saw a video about that. But yeah, that's a big one. So if you want to get into the fast playing and go up and down the fretboard, try and see if you can get like one shape for the octave and then move it like that. Okay. So that's pretty much the techniques stuff. I kind of split them up. What's this next one? Practicing. So hello Laszlo. Do you think a hobby guitarist needs to learn music theory? I mean, is it necessary? I am going to go on to something about that, so if you don't mind, I'll leave that. I might cover everything you put there. If I don't get to it, you'll certainly let me know if I didn't cover that in the next couple of slides. But essentially with the practice stuff, again, you know, I asked how much do you practice, and I found like little and often seems to be a lot better than sitting down and doing a marathon session. I remember the first time I tried to do a marathon session. How old was I? I hadn't been playing that long, you know, mid-teens or something. I remember just thinking, I want to learn the Pantera solo from, is it Domination, where it's just that bit there, and I got up like a Guitar Pro tab or something, and I thought I'm not gonna stop. Yeah, must have been a Friday night or something. So all right, no school tomorrow. I'm not gonna stop until I do that. And I got, you know, very, very frustrated, and yeah, and so I learned pretty quickly that I couldn't do that. Maybe some people can. Maybe someone can sit down and think, I'm gonna learn this really fast bit, and I'm not gonna stop learning it until I've perfected it. I find with a lot of stuff I have to introduce myself to it where it's gonna feel awful, it's gonna feel weird. Oh no, I can't do this. Hello Jeff. And yeah, then you leave it for a few days or something, or even just one day, and you come back and you know, oh actually this feels a little bit better, you know, because it's all about muscle memory, you know, especially if it's something you've never done before. Like introduce yourself to it, and then leave it, and come. You know, in fact, the big one that really taught me about that, I think, was the Rock Brigade solo when it was similar. It's similar type of thing there, where it's a kind of fast scale run, and I remember starting it and thinking, okay, right, and then I think I left it a week and came back and then tried it again. I couldn't, you know, still very, very far away from it, but I felt slightly a bit better about it. Thought, all right, I'll just maybe do that. So it can take a long time, especially if you're building up something very complicated, but I think that's so much better. You know, and even on, like when I learned Beat It, I remember I gave myself months to think, right, I'm going to just slowly see what I can do if I can get there. And the, I'll bring this in. A lot of people tap this bit for Beat It. Who's the young lad? Cameron Cooper, is it? He's class. He's got this like down. But it's the 12, 15, 19 shape. It's like you know, that shape there. I remember when I first tried to do that, I couldn't even reach there. Physically impossible for me to reach there. And it's like, oh, right. So I had one night, but oh, can I even get up there? You know, like twisting my arm and finding that you kind of have to, you know, okay, I can do that shape. Right, what's he doing next? And then listen to an isolated track. Oh, he sounds like. All right, okay, then all right, try that. Leave it for ages, then keep coming back to it. Then eventually, you get used to it. So little and often. That's helped me out so much. And even now, I mean, some stuff I'm trying to learn that I'm really far away, but I'm like, right, I'll do a little bit tonight, and we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll get there, maybe I won't. To take your time with it, you know. What's next? Sorry, I need to get my slide. Oh yeah, there it is. And 12, take breaks. That kind of comes into it. So, you know, even if it's not related to muscle memory, take breaks from guitar playing. Yeah, just it's always good to kind of come back with a fresh sense, you know, and think, oh, you know, you want to pick up the guitar, and you don't want to think, oh, right, I need to do more practice here. Oh, right, I need to do this. Oh, no, it's like I remember, you know, being fortunate in my younger years, like, you know, an early teen, going away on holiday with my family and not being able to play my guitar for a week or maybe 2 weeks, and always coming back and feeling like I got better. I don't know why. It's just maybe a fresh sense of it, but yeah, having breaks is good. You know, there's nothing. You're not gonna. You might have to re-strengthen a couple of things if you have a long break, but it'll come back again. Probably might even come back even stronger. And then 13, yeah, practice until it's not a conscious thought. So I've been guilty of with the aspect of the YouTube stuff and trying to get out a lot of videos in a short space of time. Thinking, all right, I've got this covered down, right, let's get it recorded, let's get out there, and never being able to record it because I'm not there yet, because I'm too busy thinking about it. You know, you have to practice to a point, and then get to it where you can think about something else while playing, because that's always going to make you play a bit better. I think Jim Carrey, I saw a clip of Jim Carrey talking about this when he was doing his fast speaking lines. And you know, he was able to do them better when he could dedicate time and transfer them from one side of his brain to the other. I don't quite know the neurology of it, but the thinking, oh, I'm not thinking about it and I can play it. That's where you want to be when you practice something, and how you get to a point of thinking, oh, I've got that down. You don't have to think about it. It's just, it flows. Sometimes easier said than done, but if you can, try and do that. Don't get too disheartened if you can't get there. You know, don't think, oh, I'm having to think about it all the time. Oh, why am I not getting better? That'll probably put you off even more. But if you can, just practice until it's not conscious thought, essentially. And 14, kind of on that in a way, the thing you want to learn, or the song you want to learn, or the lick, or the solo, or the shreddy part, ingrain it in your head so you can sing it. I remember when I was first kind of starting out, oh, I want to learn something new to play. All right, let's go on ultimateguitar.com or something like that. Right, what's the top 100 songs there? And they're showing a song that was maybe popular at the time. Oh, I'll learn that. And then I wouldn't know the song really. I'd kind of half know it, but I wouldn't know all the guitar parts off by heart. And so you'd be reading the tab. Oh, why? That doesn't make sense. No, that doesn't feel right. It's like, oh, of course it doesn't. You're not syncing anything together. So if you can learn, even like in a fast shreddy part, like, you know, slow it down half speed. If you can sing all the notes, you can then transfer that to the left hand a little bit easier. That's the way I think, anyway. So before you learn a song, make sure it's in there and you can sing it back, and you can sing the guitar part back that you're trying to play. You know. Play at 50% speed, then try over 100%. So with YouTube, and this is a good thing about new technology. Oh, hi, Captain Slug. Sending love from the States. Thank you. Um, with YouTube, great feature is that you can slow down something to half speed and it's not changing the pitch, which is helpful. If you're doing something very fast, even something not that fast, see if you can play along at that speed and see if you can get everything properly in time, and really ingrain it like that. And then I always think not to get too used to that, because then when you play it at normal speed, you're like, oh Jesus, it's too fast. But it's always good to get to that 50%. See how you are, really get it so it's comfortable, you're not thinking about it, you're not rushing. Then go back to 100, or go to 75, then go to 100. Because I think, yeah, YouTube does 75%. And then if you really want to get good at something, stick it to like 125% and try and play along. And if you can get that down, then going back to 100% is very, very easy. So what did I last do that on? Oh, I think it was, yeah, the Total Waiting for Your Love, some of the that keyboard solo. I tried to play along over 100%. I don't think I got it quite right, but I did the 50% thing just to really ingrain it, because some of the licks on the keyboard are a lot easier to play with your fingers than on the guitar, but I used that for that. 16, work on your weaknesses. Yeah, if you can, like, if let's say you're learning a song, oh, I'm not good at that bridge, just dedicate a little bit more time to that, and be, if you can pinpoint what it is as well. If you think, well, why am I not good at that bridge? Oh, it's because it's got this weird bend where I have to do it with my first finger. Okay, well, I'll dedicate a bit of time just trying to bend with my first finger. Not too much, just maybe 5 minutes, just to do whatever, and then do the rest of the song. Try and, like when I learned, no doubt I could maybe learn stuff a bit quicker if I just went, right, let's get the verse down. Okay, but I tend to just like keep the song playing and play along to it, because I really enjoy that. And then if it's like, oh, I'm not good at this bit, right, okay, I'll do maybe a couple of rounds of just that bit, or I'll just maybe dedicate 5 minutes to it. And then, you go into the idea of little and often, and take a break, and then, practice on that little bit till it's not conscious. But pinpointing out a weakness and then working a bit more on it, that always helps. And find what's personally comfortable. That goes back to the idea of it can go back to the idea of economy. But if you see, all right, so the lick I'm learning, they play like this. Oh, no, my pinky's not great for that. Well, see if you can play it in another way, or see if you can add something else to it. We all don't have that same structure and bone structure, or length of fingers, or width of fingers, or whatever. If it's easier for you to play like this, then play it like that. It shouldn't matter if the guitarist you're emulating plays it different. There's a few, I'm sure there's more than a few actually. There's a lot of the Phil stuff where I maybe did things slightly different just to suit me. Otherwise, I'd still be here trying to play it, because I don't have his fingers. I can somewhat imitate him, and I can somewhat imitate him doing it the way I do it. And last one, for the practice part, play standing up. That sometimes just helps ingrain things. You can get very comfortable sitting down. I mean, it depends on where you have your guitar strapped, but if you can nail all the licks standing up, usually sometimes it can be a bit harder, sometimes it can be a bit easier. But see if you can nail stuff standing up as well as sitting down, then you're kind of covered. And I always feel that helps you. Like if there's a tricky lick, right, I'll play a bit sitting down. Can I play it standing up? Oh, I can nail it standing up. Oh, now I can nail it sitting down. There you go. Just kind of helps. Let me move on to the next slide. There we go. Sorry, I'm aware I'm talking quite a lot. I'll get to some like playing stuff in a bit. But yeah, there's a couple more slides to go in this lecture. Captain Slog, I'm gonna offer a couple of tips on fill stuff at the end because it was a question from a Patreon of mine. So don't worry, I'll maybe be able to help out with that, with the triplet stuff. Okay. So theory analysis section. Some of these you might think, oh, I'm sure I've heard this tip already, or these could be put in two into one. So like knowing what your weakness is, I think is good at helping you learn stuff and not get too frustrated with it. If I'm playing something and I know there's a lot of, let's say, bend, like vibrato with a bend in it, it's like, right, okay, I'm gonna need to like dedicate a little bit of time to that. I'm not gonna get frustrated when I'm playing through and I'm not getting that quite right. I know what my weakness is. I'll spend a little bit more on that. Or what's the thing I'm trying to work on at the moment, like legato stuff using the pinky and the ring finger. Like come in. No, that's fine. Is it that? Yeah, it is. It's the pull off. It's oh, I just hate how that feels. Whereas, you know, using my three fingers like that, but the pinky to the ring finger, oh, just feels so weak. But there's the Jay Graydon solo where he does that shape, and I'm gonna I'll maybe dedicate a bit more time to it. But I hate how that feels, and I know that's a weakness. Maybe dedicate a bit more time. So stuff like that, just be wary of, and being wary of it or knowing about it is probably the big step in, you know, improving on it. 20 and 21 can kind of go together. Record yourself. Like hearing how it's recorded, it's like when you listen back to your voice on a tape or something. It's like, oh man, is that what I really sound like? Oh, is that what I really sound like playing? Oh, is that what my bends are like? Oh, they're so flat. Oh, is that what my vibrato's like? Oh, it's so ugh. Yeah, recording yourself opens your eyes a bit, and look, no one likes it at first, but the more you do it and the more you listen back, you'll know what to work on. So that's helpful. And videoing yourself, that helps see, yeah, where maybe, oh, you look a bit tense there. I noticed a couple of videos, and I never realized it, but I was playing something and like, oh, where's my whammy bar? Oh, I'm really going for it, you know, where is it? And it just felt, it looked so unnatural. I'm like, I'm sure it didn't feel like that at the time. And I think that was just one of the things where I was, that was me noticing the excess tension there, because I was just, oh, you know, maybe I didn't spend enough time learning the song. I recorded it, I managed to get a good take, so I uploaded it. Then you watch it back and it's like, no, actually, it doesn't look as natural, doesn't look as smooth. Oh, you know, I should have dedicated a bit more time to that. So videoing yourself can open your eyes, because again, in the heat of the moment, you don't see these things, and it's cool to see, because you know we'll watch our favorite guitarist play something. Oh, cool! Look the way his hand is. Well, how come my hand isn't like that? Well, his elbow's down here, or he's out there. Oh, I'm not doing that. Or where's his thumb? Or where's my thumb? Well, how come he brings his thumb down here when he's playing? You know, a lot of that. So that's really eye-opening with videoing yourself. Thank you, 9 Hertz. Thank you very much. 22, so Mr. Laszlo, this is coming on to that. Learn theory. Now, I remember not really enjoying learning theory when I was in high school. We did a little bit of music theory, and I was more interested in the stuff that was related to what I was learning about. Like, oh, this is a modulation. Oh, this is, what's a cool term? Anacrusis, where you come in before the first beat. You know, oh, right, that's what that is. I find it easier to learn about theory when it's in the context of something you're doing. So coming on to the next one, 23, if you don't mind, let me put both of these together. You know, analysing your favourite song and thinking, oh, why does that bridge give me goosebumps? Well, they're moving up key, they're moving up a step. Oh man, that sounds class. And thinking, oh, well, they're changing key there, but it's not a half-step key change. Why does that work? Oh, it's like it's a relative minor. You've moved to the relative minor key. Oh, that kind of works. They share similar chords. I think that's really helpful. And I learned a lot more theory when I started notating, because I had to learn more about note values and, right, oh, okay, that's a 16th note triplet. okay, this is a dotted eighth rhythm, or this is like a shuffle groove, so I learned more when I had to, when it was in the context of what I was doing. But if you just buy a theory book, I bought one. I bought one of those for dummies book, and it was music for dummies, because I was just like, oh, I wonder what this is about. Yeah, I didn't hold that much attention. I mean, very helpful to learn the notes. Can you go to, that's a C, eighth of the high E string. That's a C, isn't it? Yeah, like learning where that is, like, 17th fret off the B string. Well, take 12 off, it's the fifth of the B string, so it's an E. That always helps in terms of, what key am I in? Right, I'm in E. Okay. Oh, he's went to a minor chord there. Well, it's most likely the C sharp minor. It's a 6. The numbering system of the chords in that. Oh, here's my 1 chord. Here's my 4. Here's my 5. Here's my 6. That really helps, I think. So Lazarus, the point is really cool until Michelangelo Attio becomes your favorite guitarist. Yeah, 4 guitars at one time. That needs a lot of practice and dedication for that. I'm not good with that. So 24 and 25 kind of go together. Use tabs. There's no shame in using tabs. I used to use them all the time. It was a great kind of stepping stone to start playing. What's wrong with learning a tab? Oh, there's no musical notation. Oh, it's not the proper way. It's like, who cares? If it gets you playing, that's what you want. And I remember when I first started out, I was just looking up tabs to Def Leppard. Half of it I couldn't play, so I'd move on to the next one, and then, here's another intro, here's this, here's that. If it wasn't for those tabs and how easy it was to look at and decipher, then I don't think I would have continued with it. But 25, use your ear. Now, sometimes tabs aren't right. Even like the official books, sometimes they're not right. So use your ear and think, the tab's telling me to play this, but really it sounds like it should be that. Well, go for what it sounds like. It might just be a typo in the tab, but if it doesn't sound right, don't do it. And once you get to a point where you've used tabs and you know about chord shapes, use your ear and think, well, that chord shape kind of sounds like that, but it's down here. Well, it probably is. Give it a go. And then the more you use your ear, the more it develops, and then you just keep going, and then you can pretty much use your ear all the time. In 26, study live performances. Studying the live performances for me really helps nailing down the hand shapes or the hand positions. The unfortunate thing about the guitar, or maybe fortunate, is that you can play many notes. You can play the same note on many strings. Almost that same F note on all 6 strings there. So you have to think, alright, well, if I hear that, where's it most likely to be played? And then you have to kind of do a guessing game, and again, that relates to finding what's comfortable for you. But if you watch a live performance and you see, he's playing that F note, but he looks as though he's here, right, I'll use that here and I'll try and match where his fingers are, and it might help for any chords or scale patterns from there in terms of where you should put your finger instead of going all over the place. And 27, learn from different media. I think what I meant from that was try and learn from everywhere. Learn from YouTube, learn from a book. I sometimes find getting a book on something, I like that. I like being able to just take it out and not be in front of a screen. Learn from tabs, learn from an audio file, learn from Instagram, learn from Facebook, anywhere you can, try and learn from it, and just take it all in, and that should help you out. Where am I now? I need to get this up again. Motivational. Yes, I kind of covered some of these. I made a video not that long ago going over motivation and helping you to play. Here's another one about weaknesses again. Let's say you can't play something. That's your weakness. Fine. Do we need another player who can play that? Do we need another copy of ABC? No, why don't you be you? Embrace your weakness. So you can't play that. Who cares? I I used the example of the sweet picking. You know, saw a video of someone doing sweet picking. And man, it looked great. I want to learn that, and then I couldn't, and I got frustrated. Then I realized to myself, like, where am I going to use it? It might be cool to learn, but you know what? I can't sweet pick, or I'm not going to put the time to try and sweet pick. I'll embrace that weakness, okay? So yes, don't worry too much about, I can't play like this. Well, play it the way you play. That should be fine. Play for enjoyment. I always think that's the big thing for me. I got to a point where I was learning some covers, and it's like, I don't like this song. Why am I doing it? You know, am I doing it just so I can say I recorded it? That doesn't help. That doesn't make it fun to learn, and then I'm not likely to be able to play it properly because I don't like it. You know. So try and play for enjoyment, and then you find that you want to keep playing, and then you get better and you get better, and then it's more enjoyable, and it kind of snowballs like that. But contradicting that, play for an obligation, I think that can help. You know, I've had to do a few gigs where, all right, we're learning this song, and it's not necessarily a song I would have thought about learning before. But you know, I kind of had to. I was obliged to, or learn something to notate for someone. And more often than not, you do. It does benefit you in a way, because you force yourself to do something. Excuse me, you don't want to do, and then actually that's made me think about this, and I never would have come across that before. So that can help. Maybe don't have too much of that, or it can take you down. You start to lose enjoyment, but that can help. And 31, continue with that. Learn what you love. You know, it speaks for itself. It'll make you want to play. Dabble in what you don't love. Again, so 29 and 30 is kind of like 31 and 32. You know, I don't like Oasis. Well, why don't you dabble in it and see what the chord changes are like, or whatever, you know? Because a lot of people like them. See what, if you can learn anything from it. I don't like dance music, but well, you might find a cool guitar part. You might find a cool sequence of notes that you never would have thought about doing. Maybe just every now and then, you know. I think Jay Graydon was saying, every so often he'll just put on. I think Rick Beato does this as well. He'll put on, right, what's good on Spotify? What's the top 10 songs? All right, can I learn anything from it? Well, let's see. You know. 33. Try to keep the itch there. I think that helps when you're if you're taking breaks. If you're taking breaks and you oh man, right, I really want to pick up the guitar. That's what you want. You know, don't learn and play and practice to a point where I don't want to play anymore. You know, I've gotten there maybe a handful of times actually, where it's like, you know what, I need a break from it because I'm not enjoying this, and I'm gonna risk not wanting to ever play again. So try and keep the itch there in any way you can. But that might be different for everyone. I'd be a bit hesitant to say, well, here's the way to keep the itch there. Just keep that in the back of your mind, I would say. 34, don't compare yourself to others. That's huge. Again, compare yourself to you yesterday. I can't play like this guy. Well, you're not him, you know? Can you play better than you did yesterday? Oh yeah, well, I learned this. It's like, great. Keep doing that. Then you'll be better than that guy you're comparing yourself to. Maybe. Maybe not. It doesn't matter. That's the point. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. Try and be unique. Try not and center your whole YouTube channel on one band. Ooh. I'm trying not to, okay. 35. Set goals to focus yourself. That can help in terms of you know, just learning songs. Cool, but let's see if you can learn. I'll learn every solo on that album, or you know, I really want to nail that part in that song, or whatever. Like give yourself a goal to think. You know, don't make it the thing you're doing all the time. Give yourself maybe a little bit of a goal of I want to do that so then I can play that live, and then you know, you have something to strive for. I think I was supposed to mention this in a previous one, but the reason I started doing videos on YouTube, because I was learning Def Leppard songs, but I was just learning them. Oh yeah, I can play that. It's fine. So have you really learned that to the best of your ability? You know, how do you know? So I'll video it. All right. Well, are you happy with that? Yeah. Okay. Well, why don't you stick it up on YouTube and see if other people think anything of it. Oh mate, you didn't. This bit's wrong. All right. Or oh yeah, man, that's good. You nailed that. That's why I started because I didn't have, I wasn't in a band or anything. I was learning a song, but there was no end product. I wasn't learning it to play on stage. So why don't you learn it to record a performance? That was another one. Can you play it all the way through? Well, you have to if you're doing a video of it. So stuff like that can kind of help. 36, try to balance discipline and forcing yourself. Kind of gone over that, if you're doing little and often, I don't feel like playing. Oh, why don't you just do 5 minutes tonight? And then it's like, actually, I enjoyed that. I'll maybe do 10 minutes, But don't force yourself too much, and because then you'll annoy yourself. So try and find that balance. That's helped me. And 37, have other hobbies. Just again thinking, sometimes you play guitar because that's what you got spare time, and that's what I want to do. But then you don't feel like playing it. Oh well, why don't you just play a sport or play a video game or something else, and then so when it comes, oh yeah, I'm gonna play my guitar and I'm really excited to do it, and it's not like, oh well, I guess I'll play something and not get anything from it. I think that helps. I think sometimes these days we're hyper focused on, well, this is my thing and I'm gonna do nothing but that, and for some people that can help. But maybe good to have different things going. I'll change this over. Sorry, there was a couple of things. So Laszlo, are you familiar with the band Steel Panther? I am familiar with them. I was maybe thinking about covering them, but I think they tuned down, so I might have to dedicate a tuning down session for that. One time, so Captain Slogate, one time I lost the itch and stopped playing guitar for almost 10 years. Wow. But then I heard something that made me want to pick up a guitar, and I've been playing non-stop ever since. That's class, yeah. I mean, it just shows you, that it can happen. And I've heard that from a lot of people, I stopped playing, but then I got back into it and I'm enjoying it more than ever, and that's great. That's the way it should be. Equipment. Is that even there? Yeah, so equipment, try different guitars if you can. There's like two main scale lengths with guitars. Like you got the Fender scale and the Gibson scale. I found that I feel a little bit better on Fender scale stuff. I'd love to have a Les Paul at some point. Whenever I've tried one, it's just never quite fit with me. There's certain Fender guitars or Fender style guitars like the Jackson Charvel. I really like the neck on the Charvel now. I think this makes me play a little bit better than the Jackson, which is a bit thinner, and that kind of helps me improve. So if you can, not saying buy a lot of guitars, but go in a guitar shop and try as many as you can. The staff will be more than happy to help, because if you're going to buy something from them, they don't want that coming back. So like try as many as you can. You might find, hey, this really suits me. I've been trying to play on this and I'm just not happening, but I can play it on this. Well, good. You might found the one that's for you, and it might help you play a bit better. You learn how to set up and maintain your guitar. I think that's great to know the inner workings and thinking, this isn't working. Oh, now I just need to do this or whatever. It really helps to learn how to do that. It avoids any frustration, thinking, I broke a string. Oh, right now I need to wait to take it to a tech. But Number 40, take your guitar to a tech. Get it set up properly, even if it's just once, and learn how to maintain it from there. Have them have a look and say, look, the neck's probably not in the greatest of angles. Oh, your action could come down a wee bit. And think, whatever, what type of music do you play? Oh, I like to play, melodic rock. Well, you might be better off having a lower action. Or I like to play a lot of slide. Well, let's raise this action up. Get advice like that. Get your guitar set up where it should be playing as well as it should for what you want it to do, and then try and maintain it from there. That should avoid any frustration and make you want to play. And 41, experiment with different tones, but find what you like. Oh, there's so much stuff out there. There's so many effects and everything. You might hit on one which makes you want to play. But when you find something you like, try and angle yourself in that route. Otherwise, you'll be in an endless hole of, oh well, I want that, and then you don't get anywhere with it. You're just getting little dopamine hits or whatever. But yeah, experiment with your tone. Find what you like. I naturally with melodic rock, I like the 80s tones, so I like a bit of chorus. I like a saturated tone, overdrive. I like a bit of delay. If I was to take the delay and the chorus off, I don't think that's as fun. Put the chorus on, I think that sounds a bit better, sounds a bit fuller, especially on clean. So use clean without the chorus. Maybe even a little bit out of tune. Put the chorus back on. Put the delay back on. That tone just makes me want to play. If you can find the tone that makes you want to play, you're going to get better, 42, this was a big one for me in terms of my tone. Compressors can help with overdrive. So I'm using my ME50. It's down below me. I can't bring it up. But you can look up an ME50, the Boss Multi-Effects, big blue thing. And that came out possibly 20 years ago now. Maybe around about 20 years ago, no. 18, 19 years ago I got it. But I remember being fine with it. It's got good tones on it. And then finding a preset. Well, it wasn't a preset on the thing. It was there's a website where people had, he used to sound like this guy. I think it was a Richie Sambora tone. And he had the compressor on, and I never used a compressor before. I probably didn't even know what it did. And then the compressor on suddenly gave me really good sustain. Oh man, my harmonics are sounding clearer and lasting longer. Now the drive on that, I'm on it's actually called the lead setting. It's a variation of the blues driver. So I don't think it's related to the blues driver, it's just that it's in that spot. The gain is less than half, so that means I can have a clearer overdrive, but I can still get the sustain because the compressor's on. And once I found that preset, I loved playing. I thought, this is great, and I still had a lot of work to do in finding a decent chorus and a decent delay sound. But I think that's a bit of a secret weapon. And I'm a compressor always on type of person. Some people don't like that. Sure, my playing isn't dynamic. I'm happy with that. I get the tone I like from it, So I think that's a big tip. Try a compressor in front of your overdrive. See what that does. Try one afterwards. Might be noisy, but experiment. Experiment with the tone. Find what you like. And then with chorus, a big thing for me, I knew I liked chorus. I can never quite get the tone I liked. But I got the tone when I started doing a slower rate with a higher depth. So basically I have my rate at, let's say 9 o'clock, and my depth at 3 o'clock. If I was to turn my rate up, just going to do it with my tool. That's how it sounds. Awful. I try and find, I would call that a little bite point. See where it just start to sound nice? We'll put it back up again. Even then, maybe a touch too much. But the slow rate high depth thing I think sounds good. It gives you the chorus and it's not too wobbly. It's not as obvious. You just get, it's basically what the chorus is doing. It's almost like it's detuning the pitch of it, but when it's a slow rate it's like as opposed to you know. It's my impression of a chorus. 44, tap in your delay times. If you can find a pedal like the Boss DD3T. In fact, most Boss pedals, I think the delay ones, you can hold it down for a couple of seconds and tap in the tempo of your delay. I'll do a quicker one, a slower one. That always helps, makes your delays a bit cleaner. They fit better in the mix as well. If your delay's in time, you can have it higher in your mix. You can even have the feedback or the repeats set higher if they're in time, because it doesn't muddy up everything. So I always used to like to have, I think I had my delay on all the time when playing live, when I was with the tribute band, and I had a little tap tempo box. I was using the TC electronic flashback, and I had a tap tempo box. And then at the start of every song, you know, the drummer counting in 1, 2, 3, I with my foot. That's my delay in time for that song. And the drummer might speed up or slow down a wee bit, but it would never be too much. But I think that helps, rather than trying to dial in, oh, right, okay, we're playing at 120 BPM, oh, I want a 16th note, oh, what's that in milliseconds, you know, don't worry about that too much. 45, amp volumes can dramatically alter tone. Yeah, I used to find, I'd set up a tone for playing at home, then alright, just turn up the amp. For playing live, it's like, oh, this sounds awful. So always be wary of that. If I have some amps now that have an attenuator setting, which is I think supposed to preserve how it sounds at higher volumes. But if you don't have that, bear in mind that at a lower volume you might be sticking the gain up a bit much or the bass up a bit much or the mids, and then if you turn the amp up full, you're gonna have to sort that. So that's why the next tip, speaker sims can help keep tone consistent. As soon as I got my little Palmer speaker sim box, I felt as though I didn't have any bother with tone volume or amp volume because I wasn't using one. 47, a pen spring under the trem arm is really helpful. I don't even think I can get it out, but I have like a clicky pen. Take a spring out of that, put it in. You might have to cut it so it fits. It adds a bit of kind of pressure to the arm so that it's not, it just feels a bit nicer essentially, because I found with this, with the Charvel, it's almost like the arm was hitting off something, it was clicking a wee bit, and it never felt as good as the Jackson. I did eventually put a spring in the Jackson, I never had to at first, but as soon as I put a spring in there, it's like, oh, it's pushing up on it, so it's not resting on any metal, and it feels a lot nicer and smoother now. So yeah, get a wee clicky pen. If you have a Floyd, clicky pen, put it in the cavity, put your trem arm on top. Just don't turn your guitar upside down if the trem arm's off and you'll be fine. And if you're changing the strings, stuff anything you can under there and change your strings and you'll be fine. You won't have to worry about the bar pulling on the strings and breaking them or whatever. That's a wee tip there. Okay, so I'm about to move on to the last slide, and then you'll see we actually have 58 tips instead of 50, but 58. I don't have 58,000 subscribers. But I thought, look, I've got a couple more tips. You may as well. And these are kind of miscellaneous ones. I won't take too long. So if you're practicing and you notice pain, stop straight away. Not that long ago, yeah, it was last year, I was doing a bit too much. I moved up a gauge of strings. I think I tried to start playing tens. I was on nines. I'm now on eight and a half. So I think that's where I like it. I went up to tens. I was doing some mad kind of practice routines, and I started to get pain down here, and around here started to go a bit numb. And I was very worried because I was like, oh no, I'll kind of play through it. Don't do that. But I bought one of those power balls. Might seem it's like a little gyroscope. That really helped me get back. You know, I stopped playing for a bit. I did some rehabilitation with that, and that helped. And I think it helped strengthen my forearm as well. Play live, play with others. It really changes how you play. When you're playing with other people, you know, you get used to, right, let's all hit on that downbeat, and different dynamics. And playing live is fun. My first few gigs, man, my bands were all flat. It's like, whoa, why am I doing that? You know, I was just too excited. But you get used to it. And if you can play live, you know, it's an experience, and it's very fun. And you should all try and do that. It's a thrill. And you get better. I think playing live is like, a good bandmate Brian says, playing live is like 10 rehearsals in terms of what you can learn. Ask questions, learn from everyone. Seriously, everyone's got something to share. Play with headphones, play through an amp. Headphones, I feel as though I hear absolutely everything, and I get comfy with that. But then when you play through an amp, I sometimes find it's too loud. It's like far too loud. If you give me 2 secs, I just need to sort something out. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Cheers. Sorry, cheers, folks. When I get to play through amp, play with headphones. Yeah, I don't hate it. See, playing through an amp, it's too loud, and I feel as though like your mistakes are so heightened. It's like, you know, you're just slightly touching the string, and there's a mad volume of guitar like right beside you, and I never flourished in that. I've never enjoyed, especially when the guitar's on its own. And this might be in the next tip. Yeah, so the next one, 56, playing a context. I mean, some people can do it. They can just, but I'm just gonna play on my own and play through a massive loud amp. I don't like that. But I think it helps to play in a context. So if you're playing with a band, it's easier to play through a very loud amp, I feel, because everyone else is loud and you're not too bothered about that. But I hate that idea. I'm a bit better with it now because I've had more experience, but I've gotten so used to the headphones and just having everything nicely there, you know, it's not too loud. And I've never felt I needed that backline of something behind me. And I've not experienced that too much, to be honest with you. You know, in terms of the gigs, you know, I've done like Def Leppard tribute band gigs. I've done kind of wedding band style gigs. You know, kind of indie rock style gigs. Different venues, you know, like one of the tribute band ones was a Christmas gig, and it was still like, you know, 1,000 people in a nice little arena with a few other, like theater, sorry, with a few other tribute bands, and that was loud. But you know, and then you have your smaller gigs where it's a bit more, I can't really hear much of that. You kind of adapt to it. But when I play live, most of the time, I'll use my speaker sim and I'll just get what I need back through the monitors in front of me, and I'm used to that a bit more. Rather than having something huge behind me, I've just not got to that. I'm not destined to be a big rocker, you know. And when I say play in context, like, yeah, so playing in a band helps, but also let's say you're playing on your own. Like, play with a pedal note, so you know if you're noodling around, well, what's the context of it? So let me get in there. So play with a pedal note, right? I'm playing a low E. Well, what am I going to play over it? Let's give that some context. So it's like your E major. You know, something like that, or you want to make it like the minor. Or maybe like the Dorian sound. If you play with the pedal note underneath, I think that makes your playing a bit better, and it makes you less. For me, it makes me less self-conscious of, oh, like, what am I playing? Am I going to muck up? No, put that pedal note underneath, and you know it sounds better for me. Write and record your ideas. Yeah, self-explanatory. Have fun with that, and yeah, that's what it's about. Be creative, and that's a whole other level of playing. And you know, the guitar should be a tool of expression. Maybe a bit cliche to say, but yeah, go for that. And protect your hearing. That's a big one. Try not, like I say, I like using headphones. I don't have it very loud in here at all. If I'm playing a gig, I'll use little ear defenders. I hate the thought of having, like, Pete Townsend, was it from when they blew up the drum kit on one of the gigs? Tinnitus, that's him. Nah, don't bother with any of that. That's horrible. I think that's pretty much it. Okay, in terms of my tips. So thank you for staying with me and listening to my tips on this. I hope some of it was helpful. I do have a few questions from my Patreon members who want to know a few things, so I will answer them. And if there's any other questions here, I can answer those as well. Maybe play some stuff. I'll just have a quick look through. Okay, that's all good. That's all good. So, where's my PowerPoint stuff? There is, yeah, there's a few questions here. Let me just get this back up. There, OBS, that's fine, that's fine. So the first kind of two, like, how do you increase speed on both hands? What techniques can help build speed like Phil? You know, it's a bit cliche, but starting off very slow, getting your fingers used to what they're doing, build up the muscle memory, take your time with it, take breaks. That's kind of big. In terms of both hands, I never felt I did too much with the right hand to build it up. That was, you know, I can't do Metallica. There's another weakness. I'll embrace it. You know, I did Wherever I May Roam. It's my favorite song. I got through that. I wanted to do Through the Never, I think, but I can't. You know, whatever it is, I just can't do it. Maybe I can work on that. Maybe that'll be a next goal. But really, it's starting off slow, and you have to be patient with it. But for the Phil stuff, and I was helping someone out with this the other day. I used to just do Phil like legato when I couldn't do it all at the same time. So when I was showing I think it was with regards to Let's Get Rock Soul, you know, it's that scale run. You know, it's that scale run there, and just hit the string once, hit each string once, you know. get the left hand able to do it legato first. That's why I did. And then with Phil kind of overpicks. He's not doing it like Paul Gilbert would. Paul Gilbert would play that so clean. I'm not saying Phil isn't clean, but you know, Phil's got a certain sound which makes him Phil, which makes him great, where he overpicks it. So I got the left hand down first, up to a speed. You know, that's not exactly what he plays in that solo. He plays each bit twice. You know, does that, so it's really, really quick. But just do it once. All right, see if you can match some picks to it. You know, like that's not very clean at all. But I'm just trying to get used to, right, where does my finger need to go? Right, okay, I'm doing 3 picks for 2 on the first, 3 for that. Right, now you think about how I'm angling my pick. Right, remember to be relaxed. Oh, remember to keep the left arm relaxed. Okay, right, is my right arm relaxed? All those things, and it just takes a lot of time. But get the left hand up to speed first. And again, Phil's the little lick he does. That shape there he uses in a lot of solos, like End of Run Riot. There's a few more, can't think of them offhand, but I used to just hammer on it. Okay, can you do that? Can you get that up to speed and then try and bring in the pick? Even if you're just doing it once, you know, that's kind of like the Vivian Campbell thing actually. But that's how I used to do it. And then I slowly brought the right hand in. I should be doing this on this angle, excuse me. You know, that thing, right? I can get my left hand to do that. Start very slow. Not even picking, okay, leave it for a week. Come back. Try and get it a bit quicker. Then try and bring the right hand. And with the right hand there, I'm just... Sometimes I'm actually hitting both strings there, but because of the muting of the left hand when I'm playing, you don't really hear that. And if you listen to the way Phil does it, he's kind of, you know, the right hand's just shredding away and it gives him that tone. So it's tricky. Yeah, it might take a lot of time. Again, holding the pick lightly, that really helped me. Really helped me. When leopardizing, specifically creating verse and chorus riffs, textures, what notes do you find yourself reaching for or utilizing? You can't say, I just do it by ear. Suspended second, fourths? Kind of just do it by ear, but I'll explain it. I'm not just going to leave it with that. With the leopardizing stuff, it really is dependent on what the song's doing. The fact that thank you for all these questions, by the way, to my supporters on Patreon, and thank you for this one, because this is actually really they're all great questions, but I never really thought about this until this question. But I did kind of go over it a little bit on my last live stream. It's very dependent on the song, and the fact that you've mentioned to use a suspended fourth or second brings you into the idea of, well, you're not using the third. The third, what dictates the major minor harmony. You know, if I'm playing a B, the thirds would be this. You know, major and minor. On the song Hysteria, it stays away. Doesn't use the third too much on some of the chords. But it really depends. Sometimes using the third closes in on what the song is, and it's like, no, let's keep it ambiguous. So the fact you mentioned suspended seconds and fourths, yeah, you can kind of do that. A nice suspended second chord, like that works, but it only works in certain contexts. There's plenty of times where I'm doing, like on that B, you know, going up to that suspended fourth there, you know, that can help. But what's the melody doing? What's the vocals doing? A lot of the time with the leopardized stuff, I'm copying like what the vocals kind of doing, or I'm copying like a little keyboard riff. There'll be times where you have to stick with the thirds. But really it's just about, you know, hitting the main notes in there, right? Well, what's the bass doing, right? The bass is on an A. Well, I guess I'll be hitting an A at some point. Okay, is it a major? Well, okay, I can't just play those two notes, it'll sound boring. Well, let's go down to the second. Or let's go up to the fourth. Or let's go to the fifth. There's no real rule. I don't sit there and think, oh, I must hit this with that. There's you just try and play, you know, definitely palm muted bits. And those little chords like. That was just me playing a random thing in C sharp minor or E major, depending on what you want to look at it. Just right, here's a cool shape. Yeah. So no real hard and fast rules. Sorry if I didn't quite answer it, but very dependent on the song. Very dependent on the song. Where am I here? Sorry, I need to bring this back up. I'm not used to this. Have you ever needed someone so bad? Have you ever or will you in the future record full tracks? I have. I had to do it on some songs back in the past because they were getting blocked. It was the 2015 album, so I did it on We Belong and All Time High. Only because they're getting blocked. It's not something I'm looking to do. One criticism of my videos, which is totally valid, is that, well, you're just playing over the backing track. It's like, yeah, if people doubt my playing ability because of that, you're more than welcome to. I think it should be noticeable, and maybe I can mix it a little bit better. I'm always conscious, but you should be able to hear my guitar compared to the record if you A/B them. Yes, you can use like noises now where I could take out the guitar track and just play along to it, but what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get all the little subtleties down, and I feel if the original guitar is not there, I'm gonna miss certain things, and you can kind of not play them as accurately. There's some people out there who play accurately with or without a backing track. Class. I feel as though I need that backing bit there to think, oh, he's sliding there, I didn't slide there, or he's actually hitting that note twice. I don't get all the subtleties as well. I try to, but I don't always get them. So I'm not looking to do any full tracks like that. I'm still just going to do it the way I do it because that's just what I want to do, essentially. But I did do a full recreation of Toto's Leah. That was a special one because that's one of my favourite songs of all time. Will I do any more of that? Maybe. But yeah, so Def Leppard, We Belong, All Time High, and Toto's Leah, the three I have done so far. What equipment are you using? Also, I cannot get as much sustain as you do, so any tips on that would be great. Well, the tip on the compressor will hopefully help out with that. Gear, I have a Charvel Dinky DK24. I have a Jackson DK2. Both Dinkies, both kind of Strat style. This is two humbuckers, the Jackson's humbuckers, single coil. Effects, I'm still using my Boss ME50 for a basic tone. I have a Palmer speaker simulator, which runs into my Focusrite interface, which runs into my computer where I now record onto Logic. I used to record onto Pro Tools. I do have a video going over my equipment and also on how to get a Def Leppard tone. I will maybe link that in the description when this is all done as well. I have added to my gear with little pedals. So I have a couple of different choruses. I have a Dimension C, which is cool. Free the Tone Tri-Avatar, Red 7, Little Wave. They're all choruses. I maybe have too many. But they all add certain things. I was able to kind of pick them up like secondhand. Well, a couple for secondhand. Got a good deal on the other one. I have a Moore E-Lady, which is a great Electric Mistress copy for Andy Summers stuff. Actually have the Eddie Van Halen SDE delay Very lucky to get that. It was a gift. Not quite utilised that yet, but that's all. But the main basic tone is still the Boss ME50. That gets me just what I like. Okay. What equipment are you? I just did that. Sorry, I've not put that back up on here. What are some tips and tricks on getting used to starting on the upbeat? Good question. A lot of the time when you're playing, you want to have something that's consistently doing that. So the up and down could be like the 8th notes or 16th notes. But if something's starting on the upbeat, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, dun, 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 bam, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, dun, dun, dun. Have something that's like, don't be too dramatic and have this going all the time. But even just, you know, that, and then you think when you're coming on the upbeat, you're hitting up like that. So your right hand kind of becomes a bit of a metronome. That should be easier to come in on the upbeat, you know. You don't always have to do an upstroke, but I think that helps you get in the rhythm of it. Next one. How do you do pinch harmonics? The idea of the pinch harmonic is that you're hitting the string with the pick and a bit of flesh at the same time. So see this V shape. I'll put where my eye is. That V of where the pick and the thumb's meeting, that's where you want the string to go. When it's in there, you're picking in a way where you're hitting it with the pick first and then getting the flesh of your thumb afterwards. And it helps to be on the bridge pickup, and you can get different tones on different areas of the string. So distortion, a bit of compressor helps as well, but you want to pinch it in that little V. Look, that's how much pick I'm showing, not a lot at all. In that V, put the string in there, and kind of, when I'm picking, I'm bringing my wrist down like that. Okay. What are some practice routines or scales you can recommend? I don't have any specific practice routines. If I'm learning a solo or something, I'll just maybe do a bit of that. You know, what I've started to do to keep things together, or to keep me kind of hot on some solos, is I'll try and play them. So I'll try and do, I'll try and play the beat it solo, or I'll try and do. A big thing for me is what I should have said before about finding a weakness. That opening bit of Love Walks In, getting that vibrato. I remember just sitting there with that bend and thinking, right, just add vibrato, because I couldn't do it. My fingers were not used to being up there and adding vibrato. So just doing that. So if I know my vibrato's in a good place and I've warmed up, I'm able to kind of go, and without, see that I got a bit kind of tense at the end. I'm not, you know, I'm a bit loose. I need to get a bit more loose. You know, think about, right, 3 even bits of vibrato there. You know, that was tense. Yeah, because I'm not sitting right. So I always do that. I've started doing, there's a great Dimebag one where he does trills. Oh, my left hand can't do that very well. I've started trying to do the Vivian Campbell legato thing. You know, that goes on for like another minute. I'm still trying to build up the strength for that, so I try and do a bit of that. And again, to build, because I'm really focusing on the left hand at the moment. Again, to build up the left hand, I try and do eruption, you know. mean, that's really, really tense down there now. So I'm trying, if you notice, I was doing it on the G string as well. I don't know why, just should be on the B. I try and do that just to build up my my left hand. Scales and stuff, just, you know, pick a scale for the day, pick a key for the day. I always try and think, all right, I'll try and do something in G, because we all know G, right? Try and do one of the pentatonic shapes. So where are you gonna do it? Do it in the fifth position, you know. You know, just pick one, and that can help with the theory. Think, oh, what's the cage system? What's the the 5 pentatonic shapes? Just pick one thing a day, and try and interest yourself with that. You know. I didn't change it here. I had to play the intro to Separate Ways by Journey, specifically the false harmonics. I think you have to find... I'll need to find the video of me doing it. Yeah, that's a tricky one. I don't know if there's any studio trickery, but I think even live, Neil Sean gets it down pretty well. Pretty consistently well, I should say. So let me find where I'm kind of playing it. Yeah, it's all about, again, the left hand muting, trying to get it so you're just playing the harmonics you want. Where am I? I'm doing it around about, so it sounds like it's a 7th fret thing. So I think I'll be playing around here, and then it's actually my first finger playing something like that. Yeah. So when you're trying to focus on that first finger on the 5th fret of the G, then I'm using my pinky for the 7th fret of the D. Something like that, I think. Because the main riff is just an open E, you can kind of just keep your hands wherever you want it, so keep them to where you can do those 2 harmonics. I think it's those 2. And that should help you out with that. How to use the whammy bar, like on the end of Armageddon. I assume it's that, or it's possibly like the live Armageddon, where it's... Either way, get this camera back up. Get used to playing it where you can have like my 3 fingers around. I have my 3 fingers kind of around the whammy bar like that, so I can still play. Try and play with the whammy bar there. See if you can do that. Get used to the whammy bar being there, then you're not always kind of reaching for it. But the opening, I think it's the 7th fret harmonic of the G. And when you're bending down, just a nice soft bend, use your 3 fingers. There's another one there, pulling off to the open. Yeah, maybe that bit there. Sorry, I kind of fucked that up a wee bit. If you bend, whenever you're hitting, there's harmonics lower than the 5th fret essentially. You can get 4th, and then it's like, I think 2 in the 3rd fret. maybe even more. Those ring out a bit better when you depress the whammy bar a bit before hitting them. So the strings are depressed. Now, so you're hitting the 2/3 fretted harmonics there on the G string. Depress it first, then you use it. Okay. I assume it's that. I hope I covered all the whammy bar uses of the end of Armageddon. Last two there. What volume are you playing at when recording to get your sound? Not very loud at all. Well, actually, my boss is set up all the way, but the kind of trim pot or the gain pot on the Focusrite is not very loud. You want it. Whenever you record, you see most of the meter is green. So that's kind of, I am on that. Sorry, I never showed the question here. What volume are you playing at when you're recording? Whenever you're recording, you see the meter, most of it's green, there's a bit of yellow and there's a bit of red. If you get it in the green, just about going to yellow, that's the most ideal recording, without too much noise and without clipping. If you can get that consistent, compressor helps out with that as well. So does a speaker sim, for me. And then lastly, what do you listen to in your headphones when recording? It's a mix of everything. It's my guitar and the backing track or the song. Not too loud of either. I can't listen to it. If it was just the backing track in here, I wouldn't hear all the subtleties of what I'm doing. If it's just me, I would be out of time. Or even more so out of time. Okay. So that's pretty much it for the questions there, I believe. I need to get my windows up there. That doesn't look quite right. Okay, no, I can see that there. I can see. Are you very welcome, Malthus and Captain Slug and Doms? Oh, good to hear. Keep up with the college. Tomo, can you play Pull Me Under by Dream Theater? I don't listen a lot of Dream Theater. But maybe that's something I can do in the future. I hope I've covered everything there. I hope that was informative. I hope these tips can help. If there's anything else, if there's anything else I can go into that I've already talked about, or if there's anything else that I can help out with, I can maybe. Yeah, what's the time? I can maybe do another few minutes or so. If you want, I can just jam away. I just want to make sure I've not missed anything. Cool. But yeah, in short, I feel very fortunate to get to 50,000 subscribers. I'm going to continue, of course. I'm maybe getting to the part now where I'm, continuing with maybe some obscure stuff, but it's essentially more so the music I listen to. There'll be more popular ones coming, I'm sure. There's a lot of Van Halen I want to do. There's more Toto I want to do. There's a few more Def Leppard songs. Some random ones here and there. I get asked about popular ones, like, you're going to do Guns N' Roses. I might do. There's a couple songs I like. But it's mostly just going to be doing stuff I really like. There's loads of people out there doing great guitar videos now. So I don't want to add to that if there's already so many. Especially I'm not going to be doing Sweet Child of Mine or anything like that. I don't really listen to that much. I like You Could Be Mine, so I might do that. But there's probably a lot of that already. So I'm more interested in maybe doing stuff that hasn't been covered yet. Okay. But I'm always open to ideas. Okay. Right, I think we're maybe there. Just need to sort some screens out here. Let's go here. Sorry, I'm just sorting this. Right, that's that. Yeah, sorry. Cool. Okay, yeah, I might give it a few more minutes. I might just play a little bit. I've done a lot of talking. I might just play a little bit, kind of clean. Let's get myself a bit more in tune. A little bit of E there. E's great. You hold those two, the B and high, E open, and play whatever you want underneath. And you got a wee bit of pedal. That's another tip there. That wasn't in the 58. It's 59. Right, folks. I think I might call it there. Yes, thank you once again. Yeah, maybe I'll do another one when I reach another wee milestone there. But thank you for the support as always. I'm trying to get some more videos out there, and yeah, and any more questions, anything, you know, always leave them in the comments. I try and answer everything I get. There might be some stuff I miss, but I always try and help out if I can. And I have a Patreon, you know, so that's where I offer like notation. If you want that type of help, that's there. I do a notation for every one of my new covers. I'm trying to get through the backlog of my old stuff, just if that helps you to play. Or it's like, oh Ben, how are you getting that tone there? How are you doing this? Just send me a message on, like a comment on here. I have an Instagram we can send a message to. I have the Patreon as well. I have a Gmail, bwmguitarlessons@gmail.com. Either one of those, whatever works for you. I always try and help out if I can, because if there's more people playing this kind of music, then that's great, and it's brought me a lot of joy. So if we can give other people joy as well, then I think that's very satisfying. Okay, right, thanks again. Thank you very much, Nikki, Doms, Yorkie, Mike. Pleasure. Thanks for joining. And if you're watching this in the recording, I'll keep an eye on the comments if you need something explained a bit more, and I'll maybe put the tips in a PDF somewhere as well. Okay, take care. I'm going to go to the button. Where is it? It's up here. Right. Peace.